Josh Allen's nice enough today to join us live. First of all, Josh, I feel lucky to have you. We don't get superstars much. I came from a small town, and I went to a small college. And Eastern Washington University, which is the home of Cooper Kupp. So it was a good football program, but I loved it as a small town kid. That college was all I could handle. Do you ever look at your path and think, Buffalo is literally perfect for me?
Absolutely. And I think I knew that the day I visited, pre-combine and pre-draft, I should say. It just felt right. And everything in my career kind of led up just to the, succession of each city that I was going to, whether it was Fireball to Reedley to Laramie to here. And I love this place. It's my home now. I love playing for Bills Mafia. And I do think it is the greatest football city in America. People just love football here, and they love their Bills. So I'm very honored and proud to be a Buffalo Bill.
Listen, Mel Kiper said you were one of the 10 best prospects ever, but as you found out in year one, this league is hard, and it's really hard for young quarterbacks. Was there ever a moment for you in that first year when you're sitting to yourself thinking, man, these DBs are fast, I'm getting hit a lot? Did you ever have a moment of self-doubt?
Not at all. Not at all. I think going back to Pop Warner football, I was getting hit a lot too, so I've taken my medicine over my football career, and I know how to get back up. So anything in my mind, I think that I'm able to do when I'm on the football field. And there's some people that get figured out, or some people that figure it out, and I was going to be the one that figures it out. So, but I'm going to say this: it took a lot of people to help me along the way. Whether it was my coaching staff here, Jordan Palmer back home, my support system, my family, my girlfriend, everybody has had a part, in me in this spot right now, and we still got a lot of room to grow and a lot of work to do.
Listen, Sean McDermott's a tough guy. I think he was a big high school wrestler. He's a tough guy. And you grew up in a community with tough guys, farmers and people who put a real true day's work in. And I think I like when my young quarterbacks have offensive coaches, but there's some real value in the Mike Tomlins and the Sean McDermotts. And as a defensive coach, what's your relationship like with Sean? Is it kind of hands off and let you do your thing? And what is it like?
Yeah, I think over the years it's progressed to more of the hands off and just make it right. Early on in my career, he definitely had a hand on my shoulder and just trying to teach me the nuances of what defenses are trying to do. And, he'll still step into our quarterback meetings and just trying to explain what we're expecting to see. Whether teams are now starting to really drop 8, play their cover 2, and have a spy, or if they're trying to blitz us. I think over the years, especially from the first year to now, the difference of how defenses are playing me has changed drastically. And I think Coach McDermott's been a great tool in trying to assess that and how to attack those defenses.
Listen, that loss to Kansas City was about as jarring. I mean, that's a tough loss. That's not an easy one. That's not hey, I'm going to go home and go to bed. How long did you sit there and have, think about, I made this, I did that? Because you played great. But was it the toughest loss of your life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the emotions of that game, again, the highs and the lows, but, ultimately we didn't do enough to get the job done. And, the taste that we have as a team, it's still there. So we don't want to feel that again. And again, nothing we did last year is going to carry over to this year. We're starting 0-0, but we can still take a lot of valuable lessons and knowledge from that game and try to apply it to our upcoming season here.
It's interesting. Manning and Brady, there were different personalities, and I always felt they were rivals. But it's funny with you and Mahomes. You're kind of small town kids. You got your lumps in college. You weren't winning the Heisman. You didn't go to high profile programs. And I look at you and Mahomes, and I'm like, I wouldn't be shocked if you guys golf all the time. Like, it feels like a friendly rivalry. Do you ever text him after games? I mean, what is that relationship like?
Yeah, we text every once in a while. Obviously we did the match together.
Yeah.
And that was so fun. And I've got so much respect for Pat, not just as a football player, but as a person, how he's carried himself throughout his, early career so far. And again, the statistics don't lie. His play doesn't lie. He's one of the greatest young talents to ever play this game. And, he's going to go down as one of the greatest to play this game. And I truly believe that. but the respect and admiration that I have for him is through the roof. And being able to go and, play golf and just hang out. We did the Tahoe American Century in July as well, and just to deep dive and get to know him better. He's a great husband. He's a great father. He's a great person. So, and I love what he does in the community of Kansas City and his foundation there. So, again, I can go on and on, but I'll let you guys do that.
So Von Miller now's in town, and Von has been in big games, the kind of games you want to get into. Can you feel like a little bit, Josh? Do you kind of sense there's that like elder statesman thing? I mean, he's a Super Bowl MVP. He was huge last year for the Rams in the playoffs. What's he kind of bring to Buffalo, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think a lot of knowledge and opportunities for our young guys in the D-line to get some attention there on the edge and allow, one-on-ones for Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau, and, bringing in guys like Tim Settle and Daquan. We've got some real young talent that are hungry to go out there and prove themselves. And again, to have, the knowledge bank of what, Von Miller has, and to lean on him and learn from him, and then as myself as a leader, just, hearing what he has to say to those guys. He texts me every once in a while, some, whether it's a quote or a video of just trying to keep pressing on. And everything that he does in this building is to help us win a Super Bowl. So I love the intensity that he's been bringing, the focus. And then again, his play on the field is going to speak for itself. And he's really unbelievable to watch in practice. He's so bendy, he's so athletic, he's so quick, and he's sneaky strong too for his frame. So again, to have that for young guys to learn from as well, I think it's going to pay a lot of dividends coming to season time.
Through the years, the reason Jim Kelly had success in Buffalo or Big Ben in Pittsburgh is when you get to these northern tier teams, you got to have a quarterback that can throw in cold weather. So it's funny. I look at you and I think, California kid, but you played in Wyoming and Laramie gets cold and Buffalo. You're going to probably play in snow games in December and January a lot of your career. As a California kid, we look at you as a big guy and we think, oh, God, he probably loves the snow. And then I think, well, he's a California kid. He didn't play snow games. Tell me, kind of take me to Buffalo weather, December, January, for a California kid. What do you make of the weather, the snow, the intensity?
I love it personally. I think I have a belief that I'm more equipped to deal with it than most guys. But again, you say California boy, but Central Valley, I think it's a little different than what you're thinking of. It's tough. It's gritty. And, it doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees outside or 0 degrees outside. I love the game of football, and we're going to try to go figure it out and put our best foot forward. Yeah. So you have Ken Dorsey. I was told this about 2 years ago that Dorsey was the smart next guy in the NFL that was going to be the next great coordinator and eventually a head coach. Old enough, I watched him at Miami. He's got a great reputation. So he comes in and he takes over Josh Allen. You don't need a lot of work, obviously, right? You're the dream for a coordinator. Have there been things, though, Josh, that he's tweaked, that he's given you advice? He said, hey, just do this. I mean, you tell me, what's the relationship like? What's he bringing to the table? I mean, the relationship that we have is by far and away, I think the best that you can have between a first-year signal caller and a quarterback. He's been in the quarterback room with me for the last 3 years. He knows my likes and my dislikes. He knows what concepts to call and not to call. We connect on a personal level, and again, he's a fiery competitor, and I love that about him. He is juiced up in practice, and I love that the Bills trusted my word in trying to get him to come back here and be our offensive coordinator. But again, it speaks dividends to what Dorsey's been able to do, his preparation, his work ethic, for this organization to trust him enough to step into that offensive coordinator role. I'm excited for him, and he's up for the challenge, and he's ready to go and prove it.
By the way, I love Stephon Diggs. I like his personality. I like his confidence. I like the fact that he went to Maryland and got overlooked by a lot of people. You guys have something really special. You want your wide receiver to want the ball, but you don't want him to every time in the huddle say, I'm wide open. What is it like that I can't see? What is it like, big moments with Stephon in the huddle? What's his personality like?
He's unbelievable. And, the rap that he had in Minnesota couldn't be further from the truth. He is a team guy through and through. If I'm frustrated with myself, he always finds a way to get the best out of me. Hey, next play's your best play. Forget about it. Let's go. So I think if you talk to anybody on the offensive side of the ball, even the defensive side of the ball, he's a talker and he'll get in your ear, but it's all out of love, and he's just trying to get the best out of you. And I can't thank him enough for what he's done for my career. Not just his play on the field, but off the field, how he carries himself, how he treats people, within the building. He's a true professional, and for him to come here and want to be here, and we got him extended, and so I'm going to have that safety blanket, for the foreseeable future. I'm super excited for that, and I love the guy to death. I really do. He's like a brother to me.
By the way, I went to Wyoming for the first time a year ago. That place is unbelievable. I got to be honest with you.
Where'd you go, Jackson?
Yeah, I went to some L.A. guy went to Jackson Hole. But let me tell you something. True story. Not to bore you, but the hotel I stayed at had an astronomer. So we were by the Teton. So we went up at night drinking cold beers, looking at the stars, and it's one of the great moments I've ever had with my kids. You can see stars in Wyoming because there's not a lot of light. So the skies are unbelievable. And you must have had I got to tell you something. We don't talk Wyoming football, but what a great part of America, right?
It really is. And it's actually my first time to Jackson this offseason. I got out there and spent about 6 days there. But I absolutely fell in love with the place. It's about 5.5, 6 hour drive from Laramie, which I also love. It's a little bit of different feel.
Right.
But it is one of the coolest spots. And it seemed like everybody that, was working in the restaurants or in the, T-shirt shops and all that stuff, they were doing it because they just love the outdoors.
Yep.
Like, I get to live here. I get to go explore the Tetons and Yellowstone National Park. In the winter, I get to go snowboarding throughout the day and come here and work. So it is definitely a hidden gem, and I think people are starting to see it. But that airport in Jackson is the coolest airport of all time.
Oh, my God, it's incredible. They give you cookies, by the way. You have free cookies from the Chamber of Commerce. It's
Yeah.
It's great. Josh, it's been absolute pleasure. I remember interviewing Steph Curry in like his third year in the league, and now, Steph won't even return my calls. So we hope we get you again. You got a bunch of Super Bowls coming your way, we hope. And great story. So easy to root for, and thank you so much for taking time. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.